Hi everyone, this is Srinivas. I would like to present wireless LAN security vulnerabilities. Most of us use Wi-Fi to connect to the web. Wi-Fi is a wireless connection that links our devices like desktops, smartphones, laptops, and tablets to the internet. When you are using Wi-Fi, you are sending and receiving information via a wireless network. When that information like email, bank account info, and even passwords, it is transit over a unsecure network. It is susceptible to being intercepted by anyone within the range of wireless signal. So, it is important to know how to keep that information and your device is safe when connecting wirelessly. Protecting our information on the web could be as important as protecting our valuables at home, just like most of us. Do you know the term Wi-Fi was invented by Wi-Fi Alliance? Wi-Fi meant nothing at that time, but sounds like hi-fi, a familiar electronic term. Later, the meaning wireless fidelity was attached to Wi-Fi. Wireless LAN provides flexibility, portability, mobility, and ease of installation over physical hardwired infrastructure of the traditional wide network. Wireless LAN behaves slightly different depending on their topology. The simplest arrangement is independent basic service set, an ad hoc group of independent wireless nodes communicating on a peer-to-peer basis. The second one is basic service set. A single access point can manage and bridge wireless communication for all the devices with a range and operating on the same channel. Here, access point hears node A and node B, but node A and node B cannot hear each other. To cover a large area, the multiple access points are deployed. This arrangement is called Extended Service Set (ESS). It is defined as two or more basic service sets connected to the same wide network. Each access point is assigned a different channel whenever possible to maximize interference. The following chart will show you the evolution of standards with respect to the data rate. The initial one is 802.11b, which is designed in 1999, which has the 11 Mbps data rate. .11a has 54 Mbps, .11g has 54 Mbps even, and 11n has 600 Mbps. .11ac has 867 Mbps. Wireless LAN vulnerabilities. There are some vulnerabilities in the wireless network, like lack of physical security, invasion and resource stealing, traffic redirection, denial of service (DOS), and rogue access points. Higher number of attacks are possible in wireless LAN because of its nature. Some of the attacks are passive attacks. These attacks are not harmful to the networks. They take place for the information gathering. A malicious user just listens to all inbound and outbound traffic of wireless network for clear text passwords and sensitive information that can be used in other type of attacks. In an active attack, the attacker tries to bypass or break into the secure system. This can be done through stealth, virus, worms, or Trojan horse. These attacks are mounted against a network backbone. The insider attack involves someone from the inside of the company, such as employee. This attack can be malicious or no malicious. Malicious insider intentionally eavesdrop, steal, or damage information. A close-in attack involves someone attempting to get physically close to the network components, data, and the systems in order to learn more about a network. The purpose of this attack is to modify, gathering, or denying access to the information. One of the popular forms of close-in attack is social engineering. The attacker compromises the network or system through social interaction with a person through an email, message, or a phone. In phishing attack, the hacker creates a fake website that looks exactly like a popular site such as PayPal or a bank website. Hacker sends an email message trying to trick the user into clicking a link that leads to a fake website. When a user attempts to log on with their account information, the hacker records the username and password and then tries that information on the real site. In hijack attack, a hacker takes over a session between you and another individual and disconnects the other individual from the communication. You still believe that you are taking to the original party and may send private information to the hacker by accident. In spoof attack, the hacker modifies the source address of the packet he or she is sending so that they appear to be coming from someone else. This may be the attempt to bypass your firewall rule. And the last one is the password attack. An attacker tries to crack the password by capturing the packets. There are three major types of password attacks. A dictionary attack uses a word list file, which is a list of potential passwords. Brute force attack is when the attacker tries every possible combination of characters. The other one is the hybrid attack, is a combination of dictionary brute force attack. So, how we have to secure these wireless LANs? To creating a strong password with the best algorithm. The security features provided in 802.11 are as follows. Service set identifier acts as a wireless LAN identifier. Thus, all devices trying to connect to a particular wireless LAN must be configured with the same SSID. It is added to the header of each packet sent over the wireless LAN and verified by the access point. A client device cannot communicate with the access point unless it is configured with the same SSID. We will discuss more about the protocols in the next session. MAC address filtering can be an effective method in smaller networks at home and small offices. In this scheme, the access point is configured to accept association and connection requests from only those nodes whose MAC address are registered with the access point. The Wide Equipment Privacy (WEP) is a security algorithm for IEEE 802.11 wireless network. It was introduced in September 1999. Its intention was to provide data confidentiality comparable to the traditional wide network. It is widely in use and was often the first security choice presented to the user by router configuration tools. It uses a StreamCipher RC4 for confidentiality and CRC32 checksum for integrity. The standard 64-bit WEP uses a 40-bit key, also known as WEP40, which is concatenated with a 24-bit initialization vector to form RC4 key. At that time, the US government export restrictions on cryptographic technology limited the key size. Once the restrictions were lifted, manufacturers of access points implemented an extended 128-bit web protocol using a 104-bit key size, that is WEP104. There are two methods of authentication can be used with WEP. One is open system authentication, second one is shared key authentication. In open system authentication, the wireless LAN client need not provide its credential to the access point during the authentication. Any client can authenticate with the access point and then attempt to associate subsequently web keys can be used for encrypting data frames. At this time, the client must have correct keys. In shared key authentication, the web key used for authentication for 4-step challenge response handshake. In the first step, the client sends an authentication request to the access point. In the second, the access point replies with a clear text challenge. Third, the client encrypts the challenge text using the configured web key and sends it back in another authentication request. Next, the access point decrypts the response. If this matches the challenge text, the access point sends back a positive reply. How to crack web? To crack web key for an access point, we need to gather lots of initialization vectors. Normal network traffic does not typically generate these IV very quickly. To generate IVs more fastly, we use a technique called injection to speed up the process. Injection involves having the access point resend selected packets over and over very rapidly. This allows us to capture a large number of IVs in a short period of time. Once we have captured a large number of IVs, aircrack an NG to crack any web key in minutes. WPA was the Wi-Fi Alliance temporary solution to the security problems in web. It was formally adopted in 2003 a year before web was officially retired. The most common WPA configuration is WPA PSK, pre-shared key. The keys used by WPA are 256-bit, a significant increase over the 64-bit and 128-bit keys used in web systems. Some of the significant changes implemented with WPA include message integrity checks to determine if an attacker had captured or altered packets passed between the access point and the client. The Temporal Key Integrity Protocol (TKIP). The TKIP employs a per packet key system that was radically more secure than fixed key used in the web system. WPA was an intermediate solution for hardware that could not support WPA2. WPA has, as of 2006, been officially superseded by WPA2. One of the most significant changes between WPA and WPA2 was the mandatory use of AES algorithm and the introduction of CCMP as a replacement for TKIP. The only disadvantage of WPA2 is the amount of processing power that it needs in order to protect our network. You should use WPA2 if you are capable and it provides a maximum protection. You should also secure access your wireless router, the machine that connects Wi-Fi to the network. They come with a simple default password that was known by many online criminals may already known. So strongly recommended you change the password on your wireless router. This will prevent someone from gaining access to the router, which might allow them to change the network security settings. And keep this password yourself. Don't disclose. You should set up a different password to protect your router. So to recap, Wi-Fi is really convenient. So secure with your WPA2 and with a strong password, and also set up a password on router. For strong password, it should be a combination of alphabets, numbers, and symbols. Now, you know how to set up a secure Wi-Fi. Wish you a happy browsing.